Hello, my name is Jenny. I'm going to show you how to make that "You Are Amazing, Yippee, we're in grade 3" banner. I've never recorded on my screen before, so bear with me. I hope this helps some people who are new to it or there was some step they couldn't figure out. This is how I recreated it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is plan out your size. I know the original creator of that banner said that she used an entire sheet of cardstock for each letter. So that's what I did. And my "You Are Amazing" banner is about 8 feet long, and my "Yippee, we're in grade 3" banner is even longer. I kind of wish I had planned it a little bit smaller. So the best thing that I like to do when I plan how big I want something giant like that, I'm going to put a little square, and then I'm going to make this square be the size that I want my whole banner. So if I zoom out as much as possible, if you wanted it, let's say 5 feet, that's 60 inches. So you're going to unlock the shape so that it's not a square. It's going to make it, or it's going to let it be a rectangle. So you're going to tell it that you want it to be 60 inches, which as you can see is super long on your screen. However tall. If you're going to use black pieces of cardstock on the background, that's what the original creator said she did. She just taped a bunch of black pieces of cardstock together. So if you're going to do that, the height would be 11 inches. Okay, and as you can see, that's really big, and on my computer, it sometimes slows it down. So if you wanted to, I'm clicking the lock again because it's going to lock that proportion of 60 to 11. And then anytime I drag it smaller, it's going to keep the same proportions. So I'm going to type 30 inches and 5.5. Whoa, what did my screen just do? That's fine. I'm going to take 30 inches and then 11.5. Oh, it still has it. Great. Okay, and that's just going to give me a smaller one just to work with, and I'll show you how to make it back to the correct size at the end. So I'm going to click this, and it's going to turn black. And that's really just for my benefit to know what it's going to look like. Okay, so let's start with the "You Are Amazing" one. So I'm going to click text, and I'm going to type "You Are." Now, the font that she used, you're going to go up here, and you're going to have to download all of these fonts I'm going to tell you about before you can use them in Cricut Design Space. That's a whole different ballgame if you're not sure how to download fonts. That's a whole different tutorial, but I have a bajillion fonts. So the one she used is called KG Eyes Wide Open. Oops. Ignore that. So here's the font. Okay, and as you can see, it's not connected right now, but actually that's going to be normally on like a vinyl project, that would not necessarily be a good thing. But for this project, it's really awesome that they're not connected. So I've just put it on top of my black, and to get the letters to look like they're connected, I'm just going to be moving the letter space down. Now, for whatever reason, a lot of KG fonts on my computer, if you put a space there and it's a cursive font, it won't display the space. So let me just delete that. So there's "You," and I'm going to leave it like that. And then I'm just going to click duplicate and change this one to say "R." Now, when I recreated mine, I actually used a different font just because I have a font that I like better. But you can use really whatever font you want. So I'm just going to make sure that these two are the same size for now, and I can come play with the size again at the end. I'm probably going to have to, actually. So now I'm going to click text again, and I'm going to type "Amazing." And obviously that is not the font we want. She did "Amazing" in a font called KG Red Hands, and you want the not outline one. So for now, I'm going to change this to white. If you're super new to the Cricut, whatever color you select this in, it doesn't really matter when you turn on your machine. What matters when you turn on your machine is the color that you actually load into it. So technically I could print this, or I could click make it and it would cut it out of cardstock, and it's not going to be white unless I put white cardstock. But it's really helpful for me to go ahead and color each letter the color cardstock that I want it to be. So I'm going to go on here, and you'll notice if you click one color, it changes the whole thing. You're going to have to click this one that says ungroup, and each one of the letters is now editable and movable by itself. So if you're going in rainbow order, I use different Astrobrights cardstock. I would have to go look up the name of them, but they're all neon. I used a like fiery brick reddish coral, and then I just went in rainbow order. So orange, yellow, green, blue, and as you can see, again, it doesn't matter what actual color you click on. Purple, and then pink. Okay, so there's "You Are Amazing." If you want an exclamation point in there, obviously you could just continue typing. Okay, so there's "You Are Amazing." So what I'm going to do, just to make my life easier, I'm going to click on the A. I'm holding Shift on my keyboard. I'm going to regroup all of these. That's important because when I'm changing the size, it's going to keep them together. So here's "You Are Amazing." If you like that size, then great, leave it the way it is. I'm going to do the same thing with U and R. I'm clicking U, holding Shift on my keyboard, and clicking R. And then I'm grouping them together. And then I'm going to select everything on here, and I'm going to click Group, because now I can resize it. So I'm going to come up here, the whole thing is still 30 inches by 5.5 inches. I'm going to change this back to 5 feet. For my whole banner is 5 feet. Okay. And then all I'm going to do, I'm clicking on the whole thing again. My machine thinks that I still want to cut this giant black rectangle. So I need to ungroup everything, or my machine's not going to know what to do with itself. So I'm going to click ungroup. Okay. Going to just hide the black rectangle because I'm going to use it for the next banner. Now I need to make sure I ungroup all of my letters. So the script letters, it won't try and cut it on one giant piece of white. If I click ungroup once, now my U and R are disconnected. I'm going to ungroup everything again. So I'm going to click on U, click ungroup, and now each of my cursive letters is its own piece. Same thing here, ungroup. So it's going to cut these separately. And then after your machine cuts them, you can just glue them on top of each other. You know, if this was my real piece of paper, I can move it wherever I want. If you did make a really big size, bigger than 5 feet, you're going to need to make sure that your width and height are smaller than 8.5 by 11 paper. I think it needs your width needs to be under 8 inches or something, and your height needs to be like 10 inches. I'm not sure, you'll have to play around with it. Anyways, we're going to do the same thing for Amazing. We're going to click ungroup. So now it'll cut each one of these on its own, and I'm looking at the height. None of these are too high. So when you click make it, which if you're making the other sign, I would just wait and cut everything at the same time. The only other thing you're going to want to do, unless you have 12 by 12 cardstock, you're going to click this and click 8.5 by 11, and everything for white is now going to cut just on 2 pieces of cardstock. So it will cut them out, and you can adjust if you want to try to get more letters on one piece. You just click this, move to another mat. I'm going to click on this other white one because maybe you're trying to save more cardstock, or maybe you have some scraps, and then you can mess with it. But you're going to need to do that for each color. And then you'll click continue and load it all, and it should cut out, and you'll have that part of the project done. I'm going to stop the video now because it's been pretty long, and I'm going to make another one for the other banner. For the second part of this video, which is creating that Yippee, you're in grade 3 banner. So I'm just going to, I can't zoom out anymore, but I'm just going to delete all of this. Actually, I'm going to leave this, excuse me. I'm going to leave it because if you're doing both banners, it's really going to be easier to cut all of the colors at the same time. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to select all, which I just did. Well, it's Command A on my Mac. Oh, good. Or Apple or Control A on your keyboard. And then I'm just going to, for now, group it so I can make it be invisible by clicking here. You're going to need to ungroup all of that when you go to cut. So here's our rectangle square back. I'm going to make it small just because it's easier to work with. It's all on one part of my screen if I'm zoomed all the way out. And we're just going to do the same thing. So I'm going to type Yippee, exclamation point. Oops, there's two E's. And the font that she used for that one is called MTF Jumping Jack, or Jumpin Jack. The preview doesn't work, but it shows up properly when you do it on here. For now, I'm just going to color it white so that I can see it. Okay, and then grade 3 is actually in the exact same font, so I'm just clicking duplicate. Let's see here. Let's see if the space shows up. It does, great. Grade 3, and again, oops, I'll adjust the size and color in just a minute. The font for We're In, I'm not sure the exact one she used. She said it was a APL font. I am guessing it's one called All the Flairs, like flare pens. I had a font already. This is the only font I had to pay for. It's called AG, How Do You Survive? So I'm going to type We're In, and I'm going to show you. It looks like almost like a hand lettering font that someone didn't go in and fill the downstrokes, if you know anything about hand lettering. So let's see. AG, How Do. Oh, there was no space. AG, How Do. Great. You could definitely just use that same font as before for the You Are, the Eyes Wide Open font. Obviously, that's just personal preference because I did pay for this font off of Teachers Pay Teachers. All right, so first of all, there we go. Wouldn't let me grab it. I'm going to change it to white, and you'll notice it's not connected. We'll do that right now. Now that I can see it, I'm going to just turn down the letter spacing. And actually, I'm going to go in and delete the apostrophe. And I'm going to type it separately because it looked weird up there anyways. And I don't want for it to look weird. I want to know how it's going to look. So I'm going to keep adjusting my letter spacing. Now, if you notice, right here, it's kind of looking funky. So whenever I actually cut it out from cardstock, I'll have to keep playing with it a little bit. Oops, I'm going to go back so that it looks normal, because that's approximately how far away it's going to be. In real life, you'd probably push that a little bit closer, but that's good enough for my visual display. And then there's my little apostrophe. All right. And then I'm going to group that apostrophe with We're In. Okay, next I'm going to just adjust all my sizes. Let's see. Yippee. Oopsie. Grade 3. Oh my goodness. All right, so now this is approximately right. Obviously, you can play with it a lot more. So now you just have to ungroup these letters, and you're going to go in and color each one. And as you can see, it saved my colors that I used for the Amazing, and that's really important because it's going to put all of your red ones on this very berry piece. If you choose a different shade, it's going to think you're using 2 different colors of cardstock. So it's really important you choose from here. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, and then I'm going to do the same thing for grade, ungroup, and I'm just going to keep going, or you can do whatever, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink. Now I want to say that I messed with it a little bit because I wanted some of my letters that are actual letters to be pink, so I think I messed with the pattern. Anyways, so this is where I stopped. I didn't cut out the little circles yet because I didn't plan mine out like this, but if you wanted to do the little circles, because she, on her Yippee, we're in grade 3 banner, she had little dots going around the side, and she said she just used a circle punch from Michael's, but I think it would just be easier to make the circles. You're going to just hold shift on your, well, actually you don't have to do that, but you're going to just mess with the circle size. Let's not make that be teeny tiny. You're just going to mess with the circle size and the circle color. I think she just had the same exact shades of cardstock going around. I think she used a 1-inch punch is what she said. So I'm going to do 1/2 inch since we're doing everything half size just to plan it out. And that's going to take you a while to plan out. So you would just go like that and make it orange. How many colors do I have? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can just plan it, and I'm going to show you how to line them up, although I guess it doesn't really matter. Orange. Oh my goodness, I'm going to zoom in. There we go. Okay, so now I can just go change the colors. I don't know if she did rainbow. I don't have the picture up in front of me, but you could just look at what she did and copy that exactly. I think she had some white ones in there too. I don't even remember. Anyways, so if you were doing rainbow dots around the outside, you're just going to need to keep duplicating and duplicating until you have enough to go around so that you cut enough circles. So let's just imagine I have all of that. I'm not going to waste our time. Before you go to cut, you're going to select all, click group, because we still have this as only 30 inches, which is only 2.5 feet instead of 5 feet. So I'm just going to change it to 5 feet, which is 60 inches. Okay, and before you click cut, you're going to need to ungroup everything. So I'm going to ungroup, and now that I'm done with both the Yippee and the Amazing banner, I am going to delete the rectangle, and then I need, again, to ungroup everything. Those are already ungrouped. Great. I'm going to ungroup this. Still need to ungroup it. Basically, you're just going to keep clicking on ungroup until everything's done. That should be it. Now, I'm going to go back to that You Are Amazing banner that I made be hidden. Okay, now it's not hidden anymore, but it is still grouped, so I'm just going to click ungroup. And now you're ready to cut. You're just going to click Make It. Okay, whoa, crazy town. So I'm going to change my paper size to 8.5 by 11 because I don't have giant scrapbook pieces. And you can see the machine just kind of pieced it together for you. I'm lazy, so I probably am not going to adjust this. But if you wanted to, you could try to rearrange letters and fit more on one page. Just make sure that you're going back and changing it on every single color. And just be really careful when you're loading up your machine, which is not what I'm doing in this tutorial, that you are putting the correct color in. Maybe I'll list the exact colors of Astrobrights cardstock that I used or something. I hope this video was helpful. If you were confused about a certain part, one thing I will say before I turn the video off, you can see the cursive letters. It's cutting them each separately. When you glue them down, or if you're brave and you're making this out of vinyl, you're just going to have to align them properly. If you are making it out of vinyl, good luck to you, just because it's permanent or whatever. You may want to not disconnect the letters. I'll show you that really quick. Or if you, actually, I bet some of these letters, some of the cursive letters, maybe, let's see how big this word is. Yeah, like see this word in, I actually can weld them together, so it's going to cut them still connected. So first I'm going to kind of scoot them together a little bit more. Here. Actually, let me just redo it and show you. So if you wanted your letters to stay connected, if you're making a smaller one, you wouldn't have to ungroup them. There we go. So now it looks connected. You're going to weld them together because right now your machine is still going to cut them out all funky. You're going to click this button right here, weld. So now it literally looks like they're connected, and your machine is going to cut them out connected, which is something that I didn't really think about. I guess mine was too big for that. And then I just need to make sure it's the right size. So I'll show you that. So now when I go to make it, now you have to click weld right here. You can see the word in. You have to click weld. You can't just attach. It has to be weld. And after that, you cannot change your placement or anything. You'll have to totally redo it. So I hope this video was helpful. It was way longer than I intended. Goodbye.